Hey friend, thank you so much for joining me. By the way, I'm feeling much better than I felt in my last video. Thank you so much for your support. Let's get right into it. Today's video, because as you guys have probably figured out, I'm a sucker for nostalgia. I love old things, classic things, and a good throwback. So today we're going to be talking about my favorite discontinued makeup products. Starting off strong. This is my favorite eyeshadow palette of all time. It is the Desi x Katy x Dose of Colors eyeshadow palette. This came out, I think, in like 2017 or 2018. This was huge. They also came out with, I think, lipstick, lip gloss, and some highlighters in this eyeshadow palette. This eyeshadow palette just had everything that you needed for a really natural look or like a soft glam slash nighttime going out kind of look. The textures were just immaculate. Chef's kiss. I think about this palette all the time. I ended up giving it to a friend, and the reason I didn't hold on to it is because if you look, I'll have a picture posted somewhere. If you look on the right side corner, the really beautiful turquoise blue and the dark sparkly black, those kinds of shades in this palette crumbled very easily, specifically the blue shade. I got it broken to start with, tried to press it in, used alcohol to try to press it in, and it just would not stay. So that's my only critique of this palette, is that those shimmer shades were just really hard to keep in the pan because they're so soft. But this is just hands down my favorite eyeshadow palette I've ever used. I just think it was truly iconic for its time, and I'm so sad that it was not a permanent collection. Moving on with some more eyeshadow palettes. The Tarte Pro palette, the original Tarte Pro palette. They've made a remix of it, which looks god-awful. I don't know who signed off on that color story. This was my go-to travel palette. I believe this came out in 2017, 2018. Again, the same era as the Desi x Katy palette. It was about the size of a regular book, so it was really travel friendly, had a really nice mirror, all the matte shades that you could possibly want. And also, these eyeshadows smelled really good. I don't know what ingredient it was or what perfume they used, but these eyeshadows smelled like really sweet, kind of chocolatey. And so that was another reason I would just keep like opening this palette. I would literally open my makeup drawer and open this palette just to smell it. Next is a really old eyeshadow formula that I am so devastated that they changed it. It is the Wet n Wild original Coloricon formula. They still have the Coloricon eyeshadows and you can still buy them, but it's just not the same. It's not the same. These were so soft, buttery. The shimmers, I will say, not the best, not the most sparkly and shiny. My favorite one was the Comfort Zone palette. It had this beautiful blue-brown duochrome that I think is a dupe for the MAC blue-brown pigment or whatever product that is. It was my favorite eyeshadow back in the day, and this is like 2012 to 2014 when these were popping off, so a good 10 years ago. But this formula, I miss it. I wish I could still use it, but very old, very expired at this point, and not available. I have such a bone to pick with Bite Beauty. Bite, if you ever see this, how could you? How dare you? Bite has the audacity to discontinue products left and right, and good ones at that. So I have not one, but two Bite Beauty products that they discontinued. God knows why, because they are immaculate. First one is the Amuse Bouche liquified lipsticks. These smelled, so I'm pretty sure there were like actual fruit extracts in this formula because it smelled like kind of lemony and sweet, and the shades were just everything. I had the shade Marsala and then another lighter nude color. They adhered to the lips really well. Even if you ate food, drank, you would still have color left on your lips. Super creamy, not heavy, not uncomfortable. These were just so good, super pigmented, smelled good, the shades were beautiful, and really long lasting. Another one that you got rid of, which I'm very confused about because they're some of the best lip liners I've ever tried, were their Bite Beauty lip pencils, and they got rid of them, and my favorite shade was 036. I think the color was just nude. It was the perfect nude color, and they were a wooden pencil that you sharpened, which I actually prefer those kind of lip pencils. But first of all, the shade is kind of similar to Smoking Room, which I'm wearing by About Face, that lip pencil, kind of similar to that color, but a little bit more neutral. It was just, went with every lip color, really like contoured and shaped my lips. It was just the perfect shade. Bewildered, why Bite Beauty? Why did you get rid of those really good products? So sad to see this brand go. They closed down last year. It is Becca Cosmetics. They had a lot of really good products. Probably the most infamous highlighter of all time, Becca Champagne Pop. This specific product that I'm bringing up is the liquid highlighter in the shade Champagne Pop. It was called the Shimmering Skin Perfector, and they had all of their powder shades in liquid form, and this formula was divine. It's really hard to find a liquid highlighter formula that sits on top of other products really well, that has the pigment enough to really show up and give you a beautiful glow. Now I use the About Face liquid highlighters. That's what I'm wearing today, and they're my favorite highlighters of all time. But this one was so good, and you really only needed like the tiniest little bit. Like a full pump was way too much. Like I would literally just like barely tap the pump to get some product out, and it would be good for like my whole face. If you have never seen the shade Champagne Pop, please look it up right now. Oh wait, yeah, it was beautiful, and I'm really sad that we can't enjoy Becca products anymore because they did have a lot of good ones. One of my favorite makeup brands, I rave about them all the time, e.l.f. Cosmetics. I love you so much, but girl, what were you thinking when you got rid of this product? This was the Aqua Infused Blush and Bronzer Duo, and just why? This is like your best, this is your best blush bronzer duo that you've ever produced. Similar, now that I'm thinking about it, similar to their putty formula line. I feel like they just took the Aqua Infused line and changed it a little bit and made it into the putty line, but I like the Aqua Infused formula better because they're very creamy, very thin, and very light. But when you blend them in, after applying them to the face, they would wear like a powder, and to the touch feel like a powder. Very interesting texture, beautiful colors, and just so convenient to have that small little compact with your bronzer and blush in it. This next product is so niche. I could only find a single picture on Google of this product by itself, but it's not even a swatch, so I can't really show you how beautiful this color was. But they used to sell these at Ulta, I think, and these were the CK, as in Calvin Klein 1 nail polishes. And this one specific color called Mashup was this, the easiest way to describe it is a pinky nude, but it was so much more than that. I think about this color often. I used to wear this color all the time in middle school, so this is like 2010 when this was available, and I still have not found a nail polish like it, another color like it. It was just the perfect nude color for my skin tone, but it wasn't gray and it wasn't too yellow. It just had enough pink in it and yellow to make it literally like the nude color that was made for me. I wore this to bits. I mean, I wore this down. I went through an entire bottle, scraping it out, and the formula was actually really, really good too. But it was like a gel formula, really shiny, really opaque. Like you did not need 2 coats, you just needed 1. And they lasted a really long time. Even if you didn't put on a top coat, these were long lasting and just had a beautiful shine. And this one specific shade, Mashup, I hope that one day I can find another color that is an exact dupe for it. Colourpop, Colourpop, Colourpop. The brand that releases the most, I think I can safely say that. And so I've seen a lot of things come and go. Probably could do a whole video on discontinued Colourpop products, but the one that really hurts the most is them getting rid of their Colourpop Supershock shadows, the matte ones. If you look on their website now, you'll find a bunch of glittery ones, a bunch of shimmery ones, and the Supershock shadows are really good. One of my favorite eyeshadow formulas. They only have one matte Supershock right now, and I actually do own it. I think it's called Bill, and it's this like dusty purple one, but there's no other matte ones. Bring out the matte Supershock shadows. They're so good. They blend really easily, and they pick up really well from the component. You wouldn't think that by just looking at them. They kind of look dry or like, how is this gonna blend on my eye? But they're so easy and will surprise you at their pigment and blendability. This concealer, in my opinion, is way better than Shape Tape and way better than the new version that they came out with. This is the Tarte Maracuja Creaseless Concealer. This is the old formula in the squeezy tube, in the purple squeezy tube. One of the best concealers I've ever used. Full coverage. And when they say creaseless, they were not lying. I mean, I have talked about how concealer has always been a struggle for me. Creasing under the eye has always been a struggle for me. This truly is the only concealer that has never creased on me. And the reason that is because this concealer is so hydrated, so packed with moisture that it cannot crease. It just stays looking dewy and fresh under your eyes. I really liked wearing this one because I have dry skin. I would say the only downside to this product is it was pretty thick. But if you really worked it into the fingertips and let it warm up with the natural heat of your fingertips, it was amazing and really, really full coverage. I don't know how the new version compares to this. I've seen videos and it definitely looks different. It's definitely not the same. Very last discontinued product. So this was the Benefit Erase Paste. They rebranded this product. So technically, they did discontinue Erase Paste, but they just rebranded it. So technically, I guess you could still buy Erase Paste, but it's not called Erase Paste. They changed it, and now it's like the Boing Concealer by Benefit. Yeah, I've tried the rebranded one, the Boing Concealer. Disappointing. Really upset when they discontinued this because Erase Paste is the best color corrector that I have ever tried, and I have dark circles, they're hereditary, and this was the only thing that truly covered them up and also didn't disrupt anything that I would put on top of it. Because I've tried to use other color correctors, and the issue is that you'll put them down and you'll try to put your concealer on top and it just does not work. The textures just do not work together, make it look cakey and break it up and just look really strange and not smooth like you would want your concealer to look. So this is the only thing that sat well on my skin and also blended well with any concealer or powder I put on top, so that I truly got like a blanked out, very smooth, brightened under eye. And the fact that they got rid of it, like why? And then the replacement just sucks. It's dry. I mean, that's really the main problem, is that that new Boing concealer is dry and it doesn't melt in with the skin the way that Erase Paste did. Honestly, a Greek tragedy. But those are all of my favorite discontinued products. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you for your support. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you would like to see from me. It would really help me out. And I'm sending you so much love and light. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.